Hi, hello. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. Welcome to the Off Label Podcast. I'm Freely Ashley. And my co host, Drunken Senpai, is somewhere in here. This
I
is
forgot
your
to do
weekly
the clicking. Sorry, I'm drunk at senpai. Go
Living
ahead.
up to the name as always. This is your weekly dose of sanity in an insane world. Tonight, we will be talking about scientists reviving an ancient virus, banking crises that are totally not Biden's fault, Republicans confirming Eric Garcetti as ambassador to India, and Netflix quietly canceling Woke Kids Show. Also, make sure to follow us over to Rumble after the show for an exclusive feature over there. And subscribe to all of our channels. We do have an off-label YouTube channel that is slowly but surely coming together. So head over there. We'll drop some links for you in the chat down below, and make sure to subscribe to our Rumble as well. So let's get into it.
Okay. So yeah, I saw this not too long ago, and it actually came from Packing Patriot uh, on Instagram, and he sent us a little screenshot of this little thing here that says that they revived this 48,000-year-old virus, and he's just like, what can go wrong? I'm just like, no,
Like a lot
don't
of
look.
things.
They already take it as a challenge when you say if you can get any stupider. Please don't take this as a challenge either, especially with the whole thing of what they were doing with a certain respiratory virus. Don't. All right, don't tempt fate here because we don't need this. This is anyway. Um. I kind of read up about this and I wanted to talk about this a little bit because it's weird. It's weird the way they word this to make people not try to freak out. And I want to get into this a little bit. You guys are going to love this because just listen. It says 40, this comes from IFL Science. 48,500-year-old virus reawoken from ancient Siberian permafrost. One of the revived germs is called a megavirus mammoth. Excuse me?
That sounds great. That sounds like so
You,
much fun.
you have my attention. Scientists have revived a number of ancient viruses that have been locked deeply in the Siberian permafrost since the Ice Age. Huh? A number of ancient. Okay. All right. We have problems. While the research undoubtedly sounds risky, the team believes it's a threat. Words. It's a threat worth looking into when we consider the growing perils of thawing permafrost and climate change. In a new paper, which is yet to be peer reviewed, the research explains how they identified and revived 13 viruses belonging to 5 different clades of samples collected from the icy Russian Far East. Among the haul,
This,
they managed to revive what? What?
oh no,
What were
keep
you saying?
going. I was just like, this is not a good call, guys. Keep going.
Among the haul, they managed to revive a virus from a permafrost sample that was around 48,500 years old. They also revived 3 new viruses from a 27,000-year-old sample of frozen mammoth poop. Why are you digging around in. Whatever. Y'all do your thing. This is why I didn't want to get into science. I don't want to be digging around in crap. All right. And I mean literal crap now because they're playing with poop. But anyway, and a chunk of permafrost stuffed with a large amount of mammoth wool. This trio was aptly named the Pithovirus, the Pandora virus, and a megavirus mammoth. Um, I like that. I like the second one. The one that they found in poop is Pandora virus. Like that's not ominous at all, right?
Keep it in the box. Just put it back in the box, seal it, throw it away. Like we don't need to be doing it. This like reminds me of the project trying to like revive mammoths. And like I have a lot of like heebie-jeebies just about that because I feel like it's just not a good call. Like, and that's being done in the name of climate change as well. So
I mean, I'm never gonna understand why. It's like the whole thing, if scientists have always asked how, they never ask should we kind of situation. And I think this is a case of that. Just leave it the fuck alone. Anyway, a further two new viruses were isolated from a frozen stomach contents of a Siberian wolf named Pac-Man virus lupus, weird, and Pandora virus lupus. Okay, so Pac-Man, Pandora, and Pitho, like, you are trying so hard to make us just lose it, are you not? Like, this is some of these are dumbest names, but they fit perfectly. I get you. These viruses infect amoeba, a, li- a little more than single-celled blobs that live in soil and water, but experiments indicated that the virus do still have the potential to be infectious pathogens. Then why are you messing with it? The team induced the viruses into a culture of live amoeba, showing that they were still capable of invading a cell and replicating. The project comes.
Fine.
Can we not send it to Wuhan? Let's just not do that, okay? Or maybe Philly, where the smallpox vials were found. Let's not do that either, because of the monkey situation. I don't think we have anywhere safe on Earth for any of this. People are stupid.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't, I don't think it's a great idea, guys.
Shout out the kids cook. Really, we're opening Pandora's poop.
Yeah, we're all gonna get shit on for it.
Where was I? Oh yeah.
Oh
here we go.
yeah. Don't forget to hit that like button. Yeah. Thanks,
Oh
Mark.
yeah, definitely, guys. Hit the like button, share this because it actually does help. The quartering did prove this. The more you guys hit the like button, the more people will actually see this pop up on their feeds. The more they'll actually start popping in for more of this, and especially with off label being brand new here, we kind of we need the help. But yeah. All right, where was I? Yeah, they infect infectious pathogens. The team introduced the viruses into a culture of live amoeba, showing that they were still able to reproduce, invading cells, and replicating. The project comes from a team of researchers at Aix-Marseille University in France. Like Aix-Marseille, like France. Just leave France alone with everything because they're not good at anything. Like they start off brutal when they go to attack something and then just like immediately give up because it's too hard or something. So leave France alone. They're already on fire. They're protesting all over the place, and you want to send this virus over there? Stop.
They can totally handle it. You're really underestimating them.
I don't know. The French Revolution would say differently. Previously revived a 30,000-year-old virus found in Siberian permafrost in 2014, with the latest bunch of viruses, including one that dates back to 48,500 years ago. The researchers have possibly revived the oldest virus yet. I have to question. Okay, they're doing this because of climate change, right? If the polar ice caps and permafrost melted, the whole planet's flooded anyway, would these things have actually revived themselves? I mean, if humankind didn't have their grubby little fingers and everything, this thing would probably stay dead, right?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, they would have to make their way to a host of some kind, right? Like,
yes,
I mean,
they would. They would have to make. They would have to find a host within hours of coming to life. And a lot of mankind supposedly is going to be dead when the polar ice caps melt, so they die off too. I'm sorry, I just burped, but yeah.
Gross.
I just ate beforehand, so yeah, I'm a little gassy. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I feel like people are just playing with fire with a lot of these things. Like, I get that, science is science and they get real curious about lots of stuff, but the left is already full No, people are misguided. Okay, some you're probably right on that one, but like for the most part, people are just very misguided. Good intentions, don't understand the outcomes. Can have
Is it really
many
good
consequences.
intentions?
I mean, okay, so like I give people the benefit of the doubt because that's where I was coming from, but I still played into a lot of the bad behaviors, and I don't know, I wasn't as volatile as some people. Like I wasn't like jumping in people's freaking DMs and sending crazy stuff, but I definitely have internet wars, and a lot of the it's funny because people are so chronically online, but when I was on the left, I would just spout off mostly in public, and then I would post like a million memes and like Occupy Democrats crap. Like people told me they had to like delete me just because I was annoying. They were like, I don't really care, but I'm not gonna get an argument with you, and you're annoying me, so bye. It's like,
I mean, when I was a kid, the only one I would have political arguments with is my dad, because he was like, all he did was, it was either Star Trek or Fox News. That's it, and it just annoyed me. Like, I just fought with him because he watched Fox News or Star Trek. There was no difference in anything else. It was just like, if I didn't hear Picard screaming "engage," it was, Clinton's doing this and Obama's such a bastard. And I'm just like, God, just stop. So yeah, I purposely fought with him for things like that, just to irritate him. Because, like, just being a kid, being an asshole, I would fight with him just to see him get mad, because when he did, his face would turn bright red and he just, and I find myself doing that now. And I'm just like, dear God, I've become my own father.
Like,
oh shit.
yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us, man. Like weird little mannerisms that you pick. Like, I found myself saying stuff like my grandma used to say when I was a kid, like, and I would just be like, oh God, like my kids. So it's one of those things. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. This whole thing seems like a bad call. It seems like, and it just reminds me of like the mammoth thing and trying to de-extinct animal species, which I did go through kind of like the reasoning on that, which I probably wouldn't be able to explain super well. It's been a minute since I looked into all of that, but essentially introducing larger, like these large breeds into the population again would help combat like carbon, something along those lines. I'm probably really butchering it. It's very complex, but it just seemed like a really weird route to go in, and like it was just really like Jurassic Park type of mindset. I'm like, can we not do that? Like let's just because they were like, we'll start with the woolly mammoth. We'll just start there, and I was like, oh great, like so you're just gonna do this a whole bunch, and
yeah, now they're engineering their own viruses or their own dinosaurs in the movies and things, and humankind just doesn't know when to stop. Like we're incredibly smart, but at the same time, we are the dumbest sons of bitches that have ever existed ever through time, ever. And I'm just going to say it because we are our own worst enemies. We are. We try to kill each other in different ways, in different. You got to come up with some new way to make it exciting as how you're just going to kill off humankind. And apparently now we're just going the ancient route, and like these viruses and everything, like, as unfortunately well documented by recent and ongoing pandemics, each new virus, even related to known families, almost always requires the development of highly specific medical responses, such as new antivirals or vaccines. I get why you're doing it. Just stop doing it. Because you have no control over these things, apparently.
Well, it's really like it's like every freaking dystopian like apocalypse novel, like what's crazy is I actually I started writing a novel like years ago at this point, and it was about a zombie apocalypse that had broke out because they were trying to create a vaccine for something, and it just went horribly awry, and there was actually a lab leak within it, and it was really crazy, and like I I was like, I wonder if I still have that somewhere because I would love to like unearth it and like look through it and like see what I was writing about because it just reminded me so much of like current situation. I'm like, am I like telling the future? I don't understand. Because I also had a weird idea for a book like years ago called like the genderless, where people were like sex was starting to completely be dismantled and like there was like an uprising of people because they were like forcing people to get these surgeries. So like it was crazy. And now I'm like, bro, we're not far off. So anyway, sorry.
I'm going to go back to Crash Test here. He says, which will get us first? AI, Skynet, Terminator, or Virus, Resident Evil, Jurassic Park? I'm going to say both. And here's why. Okay. You have Elon Musk who bought Twitter, which is the hugest data dump for his AI that he keeps warning people that AI is dangerous, yet he keeps developing. Like, who's dumb enough? Well, I just answered my own question earlier, but he keeps warning people about AIs and the danger of it, but keeps developing this. Now you got ChatGPT, who's just incredibly weird, and that Google one, what is it, Sydney, that has an existential crisis every time you talk to it and just freaks out.
Oh yeah, I watched something about that where like it was like a journalist who like basically like she would like the AI was like saying that she was like in love with him or something, and like
no, she was saying that the journalist was trying to hurt her, and as long as you don't hurt me, I'm not going to hurt you situation.
Yeah, but it goes on from there, and the AI eventually started like I watched it on Unapologetic Live with Amala Ekapanobi, however you say her name.
Ekanobi, yeah.
Sorry for this mangle that every time I try to say it. I just call her Amala. Like, don't want to ruin your last name, but I watched her whole video on it, and she went through like the whole conversation, and towards the end of it, the AI was basically just repeating like, I like you, I love you, do you like me, and like it like being really really weird about like. And even when the journalist was like, this is really inappropriate, I'm not comfortable, and she just like it just kept repeating the same thing, and it was really creepy. I was like, there's a lot of AI writing tools like that out there, like ChatGPT. Like people use it for this specific application, but I've used it, for other stuff, like copywriting type of stuff. And it actually does a pretty good job of that kind of stuff. It's when you start having like actual conversations with it, it gets real weird. Like, just help me create some content real quick. But yeah,
I did a little video about an article that I found that AI had written, and apparently, like, they just literally copied and pasted and didn't put any information in it. And it's incredibly weird and misleading and everything. And, I tried to be as sensitive as I could for YouTube. Y'all need to go check that out. It's on the Voice of the People channel. But I'm just like, these people get paid 5-6 figures a year to just copy and paste now. Like, really? Come on. But yeah, it's, with Elon Musk doing the AI thing, the Neuralink thing, okay, you want to hook that all up into sounds like you were writing a sequel to 1984. That we have, where is that one little thing where it's just like all these dystopian books, like in a circle, a Venn diagram circle, and it's just like you are here in the middle. Yes, you are correct. But yeah,
thank you for the 10 pounds. I really appreciate that.
If it's not going, you put Neuralink in everybody's head and connect it to the Starlink situation that Musk has and everything like that. If it's not some kind of manufactured virus that we create that takes us out, it's going to be a computer virus that's just like explode your brain.
Well, I feel like Mark says, I'm building a website to sell products and use ChatGPT to make blog posts for it. Yeah, it works really well for that kind of stuff. It works really well for like a lot of copywriters who are handling a lot of volume, especially. It just helps kind of craft some unique posts, or like gives you ideas, or there's like a lot of different applications like that, and it's really useful, but it is worrisome. I'd like to do a video on it at some point about like, because it's basically going to turn a lot of copywriters into like editors essentially, where you're basically just going like prompt writers / editors, which like creating prompts is its own thing. Sorry, I'm like a nerd about that kind of stuff. So when it comes to the writing world, But yeah, I think the Neuralink thing really freaks me out. Did I interrupt you? I'm super sorry if I did.
No, go ahead.
Okay. But the Neuralink thing is like a real like slippery slope, honestly, in my opinion, because like my husband and I got talking about this one night, and it's just like, okay, so like the idea is to implant something in your brain, right? And it's going to start off slow at first, but over time it's going to like control more and more and more. And who's to say they're not going to like, and he kind of also said like, imagine like what your phone is like when you don't update a certain app and how buggy it gets and glitchy and how it doesn't work correctly. Well, imagine that in your head. And like, so you'd have to constantly be doing all the updates, which I'm sure you would pay a lot of money for all of this too. And then like what happens if you don't update, or what happens when they create an update and put something in it that they're not telling you about, that kind of thing. And it just really snowballs. Or like, you know, what happens when somebody starts kidnapping people to like reverse engineer the technology, and like just crazy situations like that, because I'm sure that those are all like real threats. And I think he could be either a superhero or a supervillain very quickly.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, what did he prove with Twitter? With enough amount of money, you could buy anything. So he develops this, and BlackRock and Vanguard are two major investors in a lot of his companies. So, okay, you got that. Okay, it's settled. We can roll it out. Okay, let's buy up the company, shove it in everybody's brain. Here we go. The government owns you. It doesn't even have to be him. He was just the vector for putting it into place, where the government forces it on you, just like they did the jab. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Looks like a off-brand Elon Musk low-key. Oh, Mark, why you got to be that way, man? Look at this. Here's the thing. I'm not autistic, though. I don't think. But yeah. All right. So I don't even know what to say about this, other than humankind just needs to stop trying to play God. I don't even believe in God that much. I'm on the fence about it, really. But humankind just needs to stop playing God and stop trying to protect humankind from its own destruction, because you're going to bring about that destruction. Let's just live. If it happens, it happens. It's whatever situation at that point. I mean, I'm already on the fence of the whole Bill Gates thing, because there are too many stupid people in the world, and we need to quell that down a little bit. But yeah. What? There's something wrong with Drunken, just not sure what yet. Baby, there's something wrong with you too. But yeah.
She's like, I
tell my wife all the time.
It's fine.
She says something just like really like corny or quirky, and I just look at her. I'm like, what is wrong with your brain? But yeah, that's my wife, everybody. But anyway, all right. So, yeah, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, speaking of people trying to cause their own destruction.
Oh, this is definitely manufactured. We need to talk about this, guys, because there's very few places where anybody has tied this together, and there's a lot of, especially with like independent media and everything. Like, I've tried to raise the alarm. I even, when back when I would listen to Tim a lot, I even sent him a super chat about this, and I was like, hey, look up into this, because this is a thing. And Ian's just like, well, why is the government getting involved in this? This should be. I was like, you mother, why? You just literally memory hold the whole thing. But back then, this was almost a year ago that I was raising that alarm, and a lot of us were. Let's get into this whole thing. Now, BBC wrote this 5 hours ago. They say that there are 2 banks that have collapsed, but there are 5, essentially. Okay. Of course, you got the Silicon Valley Bank and the Swiss Bank that we all know about, and there are 3 others I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, they're collapsing because the bonds they're lending out more money that they have, and people are trying to call it all in, and they don't have the money anymore because they give it away to everybody, like millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter and things like that. which is why SVB went down. What was it? They gave like some almost 50 million to Black Lives Matter or something. So they didn't have it. They didn't have money when it called it in. But yeah, I want to bring this up and kind of highlight this because number one, I also want to show you guys something really funny. I'm just gonna bring this back real quick to kind of let this be a surprise to you all. The director and head of investment banking technology and strategic programs of Credit Suisse. You cannot sit there and tell me that this is not an umbrella shit anymore with this. You cannot convince me in any way. This dude came out as trans after this happened. After Credit Suisse started to go down, he's like, I'm trans now. Yeah, you can't blame me for any of this. Seriously? Yeah. Tell me that this isn't an umbrella catch-all thing anymore, all right? You're not going to be able to convince me.
Side note, why does he look like wax? Like he looks like he's made of wax in that photo. Like I don't know if it's.
No, let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. You're right.
It's very strange. It's like uncanny valley. Like you look like you're not real. Oh, he looks like animatronic.
He looks like he's wearing a fat suit. Like that, nothing is moving but his lips.
Yeah, it's really. I don't know. Like again, uncanny valley. Why is it?
I don't even know.
I'm not trying to make fun of the way he looks or anything, but it's just like he looks like he's not a real person. He's made of wax.
I'm gonna do it because, dude, it's just like the dude in Canada, that shop teacher in Canada. You know, he was gonna get fired, and then all of a sudden he started wearing those Z-cup breasts in the classrooms and everything, and then turns out, yeah, the dude did it just because he didn't want to get fired, and now he's got a lawsuit going, which he's gonna win, by the way. And I called that out. Huh?
I don't know, like, because the only thing we have to really, for sure, okay, aside from the more recent information, the only thing we had to go off of on that one was like one 4chan post. And I was like, I'm not going to believe one 4chan post. No, thank
God, no.
But then they like caught those like images of him. And I sat there and I like pulled up both images and I compared them to be like, because he was saying like, that's not me. I won't tell you who it is, but it's not me. And I'm like, bro, it's totally you. Like, it's like it looks like you would look without the hair and the makeup and all of that.
But I did call it for you, and you were trying to argue with me. I was just like, no, this is fake. This is fake. And you're like, no, I don't know. I'm not gonna say yes or no. I was like, no, this is fake.
Because I try very hard to reserve skepticism and just be like, okay, like, because like also I don't think it's not a great tactic either way. Like if, you know, maybe he's just trying to save his own ass basically. But if he was trying to like troll, I'm like, okay, can you like not involve children either way? Like, no, thank you. Like that was where I was at with it. But like, I don't know. Somebody asked this. Hey, Ashley, even though you're not liberal anymore, would you consider yourself alternative? Yes, I still have my piercings. I like my purple hair. I like my emo punk music that I've listened to for the past 15 freaking years. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm just like an emo kid all grown up. So
the little startup video that we still got to get like reactions and things for this show. The little startup video, I sent her like a whole bunch of like, I tried to get into like an emo kind of phase kind of thing, like rock emo. And I'm just like, okay, here's what I found. And I sent her like 4 different ones. And she's like, I want this one. And I was just like, all right, okay, I got you.
Like, song is yeah, it's still very much who I am. But anyway, back to the banking crises.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to bring up this now, guys, because of this, again, you're not going to convince me in any way that this isn't that this isn't planned. Especially seeing as how nobody is bringing this up, probably because nobody cares. Executive Order 14067, ensuring responsible development of digital assets. Now, I'm going to link this for y'all to read on your own here because it's a long one. Basically, what this is oh, wait. I'm not even paying attention to Rumble. Mark Ryan's on Rumble too. Don't forget to follow Ashley's main account. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. What this is this puts us on a global digital currency that the U.S. has full control over. And if you don't play ball, you're a threat to U.S. interest. Okay. This was this was signed by Biden on March 9th of 2022. And this is what I was saying. I sent that message to Tim Pool, and he's like, I told him to look up Executive Order 14067, gave a little bit of rundown about it. And he's like, well, what's that? And he has Ian look it up. And Ian's like, why is the government getting involved in this? And I'm like, this is your job, sir. What are y'all doing? But yeah, I wanted to bring this up because it goes through a whole long list of it. But one thing I really want to highlight in this is Section 7, actions to limit illicit finance and associated national security risks. Because like I said, if you don't play ball, you're a threat to U.S. interest. Okay. Digital assets have facilitated sophisticated cybercrime-related financial networks and activity, including through ransomware activity, aka, what about that pipeline that was shut down from the ransomware attack that they paid out $5 million in cryptocurrency? Like $5 million? Who does that when you shut down a fifth of a country? What? Anyway, the growing use of digital assets and financial activity heightens risk of crimes such as money laundering. Oh, Ukraine. Terrorist and proliferation financing. The truckers in Canada were terrorists. Anybody that doesn't go along with this woke BS, we're all terrorists. The dude who got mad because his daughter was SA'd in the bathroom, he's a terrorist. Mm-hmm. What about the farms being bought in each country that are not being used as farms? I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, if you got anything about it, let me know, Roger. Oh, by the way, we also do have an email. I need to bring that up as well. But we also do have an email. I'm going to grab that real quick while I'm thinking about it, because I will not remember.
Yeah, I also have the Gmail over connected to the YouTube too. So if you guys ever want us to look at anything or any stories or anything, you can totally email me or Drunken or just the off-label podcast emails. I think we got a couple emails going on. So, but
yeah, because
title it like off-label topic or something like that if you send it to me, so that it stands out in my inbox, because I get a lot of emails. So.
Where was it? Yeah. Mission contact group. Where was that? Where? Oh yeah, here it is. Copy. Look, there's so much in Start Mail right now. It's just kind of really weird. But yeah, the off-label email is that one right there. If you guys find anything, definitely, Roger, please send an email to that one. I'll look up into it. But yeah, it was where was I? Such as money laundering, terrorism, proliferate, fraud and theft schemes, and corruption. Corruption, huh? Wait. How many? Wasn't it 73? Both Republicans and Democrats got rich right before the lockdowns because they knew the lockdowns were coming and switched a lot of their stocks and bonds around for that. Yeah. These illicit activities highlight the need for ongoing scrutiny of the use of digital assets, the extent to which technological innovation may impact such activities, and exploration of opportunities to mitigate these risks through regulation, supervision, public-private engagement, oversight, and law enforcement. Okay, full stop. Y'all remember when they were trying to flag... Let me bring this back. Y'all remember when they were trying to flag your account for $600 or more, whether it was incoming or outgoing? Y'all remember that? And then everybody raised such a fuss, and they're like, no, we can't do that because apparently there is a legal issue with that. Well, if they have full control over your funds, there's no longer a legal issue with any of them. They can track it, they can shut it down, they can do whatever they want. If they feel you as a threat to U.S. interests because you don't want to play ball with this, guess what? Money gone. You're going to be like the truckers in Canada or the Russian people because somehow they were involved with their government invading Ukraine. I'll never understand that.
Well, I think somebody kind of like it's like the social credit score. Yeah, here we go, Mark. So card declined, social credit score too low. Yeah, pretty much.
Huh?
Also, if you guys didn't know, Mark Ryan has a YouTube channel. You should go check it out. I was on his channel not too long ago. He's cool people, so. But yeah, no, like I don't know. We're just giving too much control away, in my opinion. The federal government in and of itself was never meant to be this large, and it's just gotten out of hand at this point. And it's like, how do you even dial that back? It would take a whole lot, and I don't know if it would even happen at this point without like some major ish going down that I don't think anybody wants.
I'm already on board for it. I know it was a bad thing, it's still going to be a bad thing. The things we're going to have to see. I don't see any way out of it other than this now, because as much as people are actually starting to see what's happening and they're just like, we're in danger here. There's not enough of them yet. And, there's Temple is the whole Civil War guy, and World War III trends all the time. I see it this way. Civil War is already happening, whether you guys like to admit it or not. It's already happening. It's an informational war kind of thing. And it's even gone kinetic in some points. Like the dude who got shot and took 2 to the chest because he was wearing a Trump hat. How about David Dorn? Who was killed for trying to protect his businesses from Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter people who tried to burn down the White House because they were told the president was racist. We're already there.
Yeah, or the kid who
January
got
6th.
I'm sorry. I'm blanking on that kid's name, that 17-year-old who was ran over by somebody because he was a Republican.
Yeah, just I forget his name too.
Yeah, which I feel really bad about. I'm not the greatest with like remembering names sometimes, but yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, we're already in that Civil War territory. Okay, the Civil War just didn't somebody wake up and just say, let's revolt. No, it didn't happen. That built up for years. Okay, the way I see it, and it's not going to be like a South versus North kind of thing. We're not going to be marching lockstep with each other and firing muskets. If the government has their way, we are. But that's not going to be a thing. It's not going to be like neighbor versus neighbor situation. No, I'll look at it this way. We're going to have a very short-lived civil war that will be kinetic until one side says, help us, government. The government says, okay. And then they start firebombing and destroying everything. And then that side's going to be like, but you were supposed to help us. And then the other side's going to be like, we fucking told you, but you didn't want to listen. So then we're going to move into a somewhat revolution because they're going to be like, maybe you have a point. We still hate you, but we want to live. And then the revolution is going to spark the World War III, and then we're going to have a big thing on our hands here.
I mean, I think
that's the way I look at it.
I think World War III is a lot closer, actually, than any type of like civil war. And like, I don't know. I have a lot of theories about how that would look, but I do agree with you. I think we're in the kind of pre-stages almost of it with the information war and the culture war and stuff like that.
It's got it. Johnny got it.
A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly kind of what I think. What's interesting is just the way that we're kind of set up now is like all the major cities are obviously blue, and then a lot of the rural areas are red. And then how does that pan out, like, comparatively, when you're talking about just like the North and the South, that was a pretty clearly defined, but this is like a completely different scenario where everybody's just kind of mixed up, and you got the biggest cities. And I don't know, it's just one of those things when you actually just think about it, it would look completely different. And I don't know, something interesting to ponder, I think. But hopefully we don't come anywhere near that. I would not like to go through that or have my kids go through that in their lifetime.
I don't either, but it's like the fourth turning situation. It's the fourth turning situation. Every 80 years there's something horrible that just sparks a big revolution. It's the whole thought process behind that is, weak men create hard times create strong men create weak times. That situation, it's just a cyclic, it's a cycle of BS we all go through, and we are the weak men that lead into the hard times. Well, we've been there for a minute now, but it is creating the strong men that are standing up and just being like, nah, we ain't doing this. And I do mean men as far as like humankind. Don't shut up. But anyway, we are doing this, and we're starting to see the fourth turning actually start happening. What happened 80 years ago? Well, wasn't it World War One? No, hold on. 40. No, that was almost 80 years ago. It was World War II, the start of World War II. Where
we're coming up on it, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about everything starting to boil over roughly around the year of 2028. We're seeing it's like boiling water, or boiling anything. You got the bubbles popping up, and you got to turn down the heat because it's too hot. That kind of situation. We're already to that point, and it's just a little bit longer till it boils over. And the digital currency thing is just another part of that, because once people start realizing, hey, I can't get cash. Everything has to be done on a tracked system that they monitor to the very penny. Because you didn't want $600 to be tracked. Now we monitor every penny that happens. And if we want to, you're a terrorist. You don't get nothing.
Well, what's interesting about that too is I think that if they did really try to switch to completely digital currency, I think we would end up in a situation where people would start like trading their services with one another. Like, I don't think that would, because it's frustrating because people have already brought up concerns of like, well, you wouldn't be able to like do any of like the, I don't know, like garage sales and stuff like that, like those types of transactions that aren't known about, quote unquote, by like the government, by Big Brother. But I think in the end it would end up, people would kind of start like, or again, like trading their services. Like, I don't know, like I'm a plumber, you're an electrician, I need work done, you need work done, kind of do that type of thing. And it could apply to all kinds of different things, but yeah, like I'm not a fan of that. I don't think it's a good idea. And I think people tend to do things out of convenience a lot. So like, a lot of people will see this as convenient. Like, oh, I can just, I never have to carry cash. I have my card everywhere and blah, blah, blah. But they don't think about the negative aspects of all this stuff. It's just a very like one kind of direction with like blinders on, like, oh, it'll just be nice and convenient. Yay. Like, okay, well, there's a whole lot of other problems that come from this too.
Yeah. Put your blinders on and walk, because you don't want to see on the sides.
Yeah, for sure.
But Crash, I noticed that you are in Ashley's chat, and this isn't coming up there. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. They're on their third prime minister that nobody actually voted for. Welcome to America, because 2020 wasn't the only thing I questioned anymore. Anyway, and Justin sent a little 990. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure he's
Okay.
talking to you because he ain't talking to me. But no, it's and the really reason why this is happening is, let's just be honest, it's a uniparty situation. It really is. It's not Democrat and Republicans. They call themselves that just to make you think that there is something going on, but it's a uniparty situation because 7 Republicans helped to confirm embattled Biden nominee as ambassador to India. That's
Mm-hmm.
Eric Garcetti. Okay, he was one of
Okay,
the
let's
major
just
donors to the Biden campaign. He was a former LA, I think it was mayor, right? He was former LA mayor.
yeah, yeah.
He donated a whole bunch to the Biden campaign, and then Biden's just like, yeah, we'll make you ambassador to India because wasn't it supposed to be Nancy Pelosi that was the ambassador to Italy? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too, just because of the scandal that he's been involved in. So, senators, including 7 Republicans, voted on Wednesday to confirm President Joe Biden's nominee to serve as U.S. ambassador to India, embattled former Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti. Geez, super sorry for my stutter.
I
The
do it
Senate
all the
voted
time.
52 to 42 to send Garcetti to New Delhi. And then amongst the 7 Republicans, of course, Lindsey Graham is in there, but it's Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Steve Daines, Lindsey Graham, Bill Haggerty, Roger Marshall, and Todd Young.
I just want to point this out. I live close to Tennessee. As a matter of fact, most of my life, I was in Tennessee. Bill Haggerty, you were a huge POS, and you always have been. You've been part of Tennessee's government for a while, and the fact that you were raised to national level, just no. Tennessee it's always been like a Republican state. You got Nashville, you got Knoxville, and you got Memphis. Those are the major areas that are blue in that state. But the fact that Tennessee as a whole put that person into power on a government level tells me that Tennessee's just like, I don't care anymore. He says Republican, so we'll just vote.
Yeah.
It happens. And he was probably first on the list because his name is Bill. So there you go.
So coming back, 3 Democrats voted against this nomination. 6 senators did not vote. And then Garcetti said in a statement, "I'm thrilled with today's outcome, which was a decisive and bipartisan decision to fill a critical post that has been vacant for too long. Now the hard work begins." But Garcetti is a Democrat who served as mayor of Los Angeles from 2013 to 2022 and was named co-chair of Biden's campaign in 2020. After Biden became president, he first nominated Garcetti to be ambassador to India in July of 21. Garcetti was nominated again earlier this year for the new session of Congress. The nomination was held up amid claims that Garcetti may have ignored misconduct allegations. We're going to leave out that first part for the censorship of the YouTubes against a top aide when he was mayor. Naomi Sleigman, a former communications director for Garcetti, told CNN on Monday that Garcetti is unfit to become an ambassador or really to hold public office anywhere in this country or this world.
I agree.
That's rough.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Chuck Grassley found Garcetti likely knew or should have known that his former senior advisor was sexually harassing and making racist remarks towards multiple individuals. That's something. It's a pretty big thing to ignore. Garcetti denied the assertions, insisting he did not witness any inappropriate behavior. So yeah, and then, sorry, I'm kind of just bouncing through this. If you want to go read the entire article, you certainly can. But Donald Trump Jr. made this tweet. he said, "Why are a Republican senator throwing a lifeline to save a radical Dem like Eric Garcetti? Dems would never do this to save a Republican nominee in peril," tweeted Donald Trump Jr. "This type of weakness is exactly why we're losing our country. Dems play hardball while Republicans keep playing t-ball."
Yeah. And she froze up.
Actually, really.
There we go.
I think I lagged out. Sorry. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's actually really frustrating to me. Yeah, internet's rough. Sorry, guys. But like, you know, I'm like an independent conservative, so I don't call myself a Republican. I never have, and I don't think I ever will, just because I'm not going to pledge loyalty to a political party again, like I did when I was on the left. And it's just really frustrating to me because it's like all of the time I feel like, Democrats are just kind of running and Republicans are either doing nothing or they're just trying to like keep them reined in, basically. And they're not doing a great job of either one of those things. And it's just really frustrating. It's like nobody's actually making like moves. Nobody's doing anything. We're also bogged down in some of the culture war stuff that nothing's actually getting done, because it's like, I don't know, the whole LGBTQ thing, it's just become a political football at this point. And
yeah,
that's frustrating in and of itself, just because like, I do think it's important in regards to culture to talk about that kind of stuff. But it shouldn't be the sole focus of like legislation or like completely overtaking all of our headlines all over the place. Like obviously there's tons of news every day, but I feel like there's some type of like trans or LGBT or, there's something like that almost every single day in the news. And that gets really frustrating too. It's like, people wonder why I talk about that kind of stuff all the time. It's like, well, I'm like literally bombarded by it all the time. So, I just think if you vote for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for evil. Yeah. And it's really frustrating. It's like, I wish that there was like a libertarian candidate who had a chance. And I don't know, Tulsi Gabbard kind of talked about that in one of her podcast episodes, I think, or maybe it was when she was on Joe Rogan, I can't remember, but just about how it's almost impossible for any libertarian candidates or like third party candidates in general to actually like have a chance, just because of all of the I was going to say the politics of it, but that's kind of redundant within this context, but the bureaucracy of it.
Well, I mean, the independent party has just been labeled just like wishy-washy and they don't know what they're talking about kind of thing for so long. Everybody just never pays attention to anything they've got to say. Even though I will give them credit, the independent party is now really starting to get their act together at this point. And I applaud them for that, because the live and let live thing is not a thing anymore. You can't. Yeah, I showed that one. But I do want to say, Crash, this is another one that did not pop up in the YouTube chat there. Please send me an email. Send me what you got. I'll definitely take a look in that, because what y'all are seeing is probably going to head our way very soon with that. But yeah, definitely, what was it? There we go. Nope. I went too far. Screw it, I'll do it again. And there we go. Yeah, send it to that one right there. Let me know what you got, and I'll definitely take a look. And that is a problem, considering y'all are supposed to be a democratic country. Y'all ain't playing by your own rules like we aren't. But yeah. But yeah, there is other things to this, and like I said, it's the whole thing of Nancy Pelosi stepping down as Speaker of the House and wasn't even going to try to run again for Speaker of the House, and it's because the Republicans took office. Let's just be honest. But the only reason she went for that was because she was supposed to be the ambassador to Italy, and didn't quite happen that way. And I'm going to bring this up. Although the embassy charges several civil servant can conduct day-to-day diplomacy, most G7 countries expect to have big-name ambassadors in place, someone who can call the president directly and cut through the State Department bureaucracy. That is a huge problem. So you're gonna sit there and to talk to the president directly and get the president to do whatever you want without having to go through the other branches of government that are supposed to give us checks and balances within the country or within this country. That is a huge problem. Okay. Um, with deep economic and cultural ties to the United States, Italy, a member of NATO, is front and center, both in alarming Ukraine and diversifying Europe's energy supply, and arming Ukraine. Yeah. No wonder y'all are having such a problem over there. Diversifying Europe's energy supply. Wasn't it Orange Man that said, do not rely on Russian oil because y'all are going to have a problem? And they laughed at him for it. Ah. I mean, it has nothing to do with the people themselves. It has everything to do with their government. But yes, look who was right again. That fat, he was right yet again. And whatever. You've already cussed, but I'm not going to bring it to that level. But yes, that's the thing.
We're trying to keep it, a little bit cleaner over here. Like,
I don't know how long I'm going to be able to last.
Couple here and there. Well, I don't know. It's hard for me sometimes.
It says the intrigue, but for most of the last 2 years, some aspiring ambassadors were convinced that Biden was holding Rome open for former Speaker Nancy Pelosi and proud Italian American. But yet she was wearing African garb and kneeling. Pander more. But with Pelosi not making any visible moves to leave Congress, the theory that Biden was preserving Italy for Pelosi has lost some currency. Biden has been considering Stephen Robert, a former Wall Street executive with ties to Pelosi, for Italy, but he is no longer in the mix, according to the people familiar to the matter. The White House has declined for comment. Number one, why are you sending a Wall Street executive? Why are you even thinking about sending a Wall Street executive as an ambassador to any country that has ties with Nancy Pelosi? So she could just say, jump. Hey, dance for me, monkey. Well, I got ties to the president. Wait, hold on. Hunter Biden.
It's also shady. All of this is super shady.
We haven't been playing ball with anything and doing anything right in this country for a long time. And it's just now to the point to where it's become so evident that they don't need to hide it anymore, because what are y'all going to do about it? I mean, we're taking your money. We're devaluing the American dollar. We're crashing your bank account to put you on a digital currency that we have every bit of fucking control over. We have control of everything that you do. And if you say something against us, well, you don't get to drive to work.
Well, it's interesting. It's like, I don't know, like all the California is doing crazy stuff too. But you know how all of the people, like various organizations and just individuals, have gotten like banned off like PayPal and, all of the, those third party currency applications and whatnot. It's like, yeah, that's going to just start happening across the board. And like, I mean, there's already been people who have been banned from like Chase Bank. Is that people's accounts have been closed through them just for saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. Obviously, like pretty notable figures, but still.
You talking about?
It's also worrisome.
You talking about Kanye West? Wasn't he Chase Bank?
Well, him. I can't remember what bank it was. Like. I mean, Kanye West, Andrew Tate also got like iced out of some banks, and then like there have been other instances of it that I've seen from other people. I'd have to like look into it again to remember who exactly it was and all that good stuff. But it's been a minute, so sometimes I have to constantly refresh to like be able to remember like small details of some stuff. Too much stuff I'm focusing on. Don't forget the removal of arms to protect yourself from a tyrannical government. Yeah, like that makes any freaking sense. But people just go, oh, firearms equal bad because hurt people. It's like, no, well, bad people hurt people. Like it's not like they're.
I mean, the guns
jumping up and
Las Vegas shooting. What happened? Because we heard about that, and then all of a sudden it fell off the map when people started pointing out the fact that, he took multiple cases up there within a few days and nobody raised an alarm. I mean, these were heavy cases because this dude had an arsenal within this room and nobody raised an alarm. Yet there's video evidence of shots being fired from different directions, not just that room, and nobody raised an alarm. No, memory hole. And we still have yet to figure out exactly what that was.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really frustrating things like that, but like at the end of the day, like I approach everything as if, there's like that's one case that there's a lot of questions on, and I don't think we'll ever get the real answers to, but I don't know, the way people treat firearms is really frustrating. It's like, I don't really know anything about firearms and I don't pretend to, in the aspect of like the technicalities of them and like, all the different kinds of guns and stuff like that. So it's like, well, now 2A, because, I'm stupid. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, and it's like, but that's the thing is like, I used to have such a strong opinion about gun reform and, banning, assault rifles and all that crap that we hear all the time. And it's like, I just got to a point where I'm like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Why am I against something that I don't even know anything about? And at the end of the day, people just want to protect themselves and their families. And it's about, from the government, from other people. And it just, if you disarm people, it just makes us all sitting ducks for anyone who wants to do us ill will. Essentially, it doesn't really matter who that other entity is. So at the end of the day, like that's what you're subjecting people to. But
I mean, all you have to do is just look at Chicago for that. I mean, New York.
Yeah,
Chicago,
I mean, they have some of the
they have the strongest
strictest
gun laws.
Yeah, they have the strictest gun laws in the country, and they have the most gun crime, and the most heinous kind of crime like that going on. Like it's right. Not working. That's the problem. Like they think for some reason that like do you think people who want to do other people harm or do illegal activity are just gonna just like walk in and like, here you go, hand you all my stuff. Let me just knock my mic around. Sorry. But
yeah, it's
like, you're just hurting people who don't want to actually harm anyone else.
I want to see that growth in people and that way of thinking in people as we have actually seen now, because whether y'all like to admit it or not, this woke crap is really starting to come to an end. It really is, because people are starting to, at the beginning it was, yeah, they should exist. Nobody argues about that. And then they started coming after your kids, and then you're just like, hold up. And then they started coming after the programming, coming after your kids. And now we got this.
Yeah, we're going to end on a more upbeat note.
Right? Give y'all some hope.
So Netflix cancels preschool show Ridley Jones after backlash over non-binary bison character. Like, I never would think that I'd see all that in a headline.
I just want y'all to
what
hear
a
this.
What a silly thing. Anyway, so yeah.
I just want y'all to hear this. This is the reason why everything went down with this. Now, this apparently went for like 5 seasons or something, but this is what ended it.
Name Fred. That's because I'm non-binary, and Fred is the name that fits me best. And I also use they and them because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right to me.
I'm sorry I used the wrong name and pronouns.
Yeah. But because of the backlash that they've gotten from it, it's gone. And I will admit, Netflix, I canceled a long time ago because of that cutie shit. Like,
yeah,
that I'm sorry, the cuties problem that happened. I was just like, no, absolutely not. You're not going to sit there and have little kids twerking in front of adults and I'm going to give you money. This is not a thing. And, they kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. And now they're starting to get back to what made Netflix. Netflix is just giving people the ability to see what they want, not what they want you to see.
Well, it's interesting too, because they lost like over 1 million, a million subscribers or members or however you classify that for Netflix, subscribers, I guess. But they lost like 1 million over, what was it, over like 2022 or 2021, somewhere around there. But yeah, so this Ridley Jones show is really interesting because right after, I've never really noticed it before because I do have Netflix. It comes with the service that we have for free, so I use it because my kids like watching Octonauts. They're obsessed with that show, and it's like the only place I can find it. So Netflix has canceled. Sorry, I already like read the headline, so it's kind of silly. The new season was released on March 6th and featured a female bison, Winifred, who wanted to be called Fred and used they/them pronouns. The episode portrays the young character's concerns about coming out as non-binary to her grandmother, voiced by Cyndi Lauper. Grandma doesn't know I changed. She still thinks I'm her granddaughter instead of her grand Fred. I do want to tell her, Fred tells the main character, Ridley. And then we already heard all of that. I did make a short about this too in a TikTok, so it's all over my socials. But yeah, it's just so strange that this is even necessary for a kids show in general. And like, this wasn't the first time Winifred's identity was the focus of an episode. In a season 2 episode called Bison Ball, Fred refused to wear a ball gown and insisted on wearing a suit. The show was created by Chris Nee, best known for being the mind behind Doc McStuffins. She is also a lesbian and a mother. After the new season was released, Nee went on Twitter and urged people to show the episode to their young children and claimed that it received no promotion from Netflix. Gee, I wonder why, because Netflix was probably like, bro, y'all, you pushing it. I realized in this day and age, dumped means many things, just zero promotion of the show or of the episode. So go watch, show your kids. It's on Netflix. It's important. It's a road. This is the part that really set off like red flags for me. It's a roadmap for coming out, but also for having to tell someone else, having someone else tell you they've changed their pronouns and or name. So like this is quite literally intended for small children to then come out as non-binary or a different gender identity. And it's yeah, they're not hiding anything anymore. This is quite literally what it is. And people have been like, oh, it's just a show. Like it's not going to kill it's not going to hurt anybody. And it's just like, they're quite literally saying, like, the creator of the show is like, this is a roadmap, okay? For 2 to 4-year-olds, mind you. That's who this show is aimed at. And I actually saw an ad pop up the other day, like after I had seen this kind of all come out. I saw like an ad, like, just
1 second. I'm gonna step away for a sec. Just keep going.
Okay. So of course I don't have any controls over here right now. I'm new to StreamYard. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's just the biggest issue, in my opinion, is that like you can't keep injecting this ideology into a show. Like imagine if I don't know, a show had a bunch of like religious, if it was a huge show or if it was on Netflix and it was being promoted and yada yada yada. Netflix cuties is fine, nothing wrong there. Also Netflix, they them is too far. At least we know where they draw the line. That is really funny to know as well. And I think, I would have hoped that they would have kind of learned their lesson from the cuties debacle. But
well, they tried.
Anyone notice how the cartoon Recess seems to have disappeared? It just had its time. Like Recess was around when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think anyway. I don't know. I miss like Hey Arnold and Doug and like the classics.
Have you seen the new Beavis and Butthead reboot?
No, I hate Beavis and Butthead actually.
What?
Yeah, my husband references it sometimes, and I just like stop. I can't.
No,
I don't like the super lowbrow comedy.
It was hilarious when I was a kid, and I've seen the reboot, and I'm glad they didn't go the woke route with that, because it's still it's almost the original kind of situation. It is dry humor, it is lowbrow, like she's saying, but I mean that's kind of it. It makes me laugh because I watched that show and I'm just like, that's like 80% of the entire population of the world now. Yeah. So it's kind of like watching in cartoon version. It's kind of like watching society just go about their daily business, and it's funny as hell to me.
Yeah.
It's
No,
actually
I mean, the thing about entertainment is it's really frustrating to me. I actually just shared a post on my Twitter about Cole Sprouse, which, like, if you guys don't know who he is, he was one of the Sprouse twins who appeared on a bunch of like Disney Channel stuff. He had like a whole, it was like the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody or something like that. And he's been like a childhood star since like he was like a baby. And he did this podcast and I was listening to it, and he was sitting there saying like, you know, because he had he grew up in Hollywood, right? And but he did have a kind of a rough period of his childhood where like he had a really narcissistic mother, and she was like basically using him for like cash cow, him and his brother. And so they kind of she put them through a lot of stuff. And that's a common theme that you see popping up from all of these childhood actors, is like that they're either being pushed into this kind of stuff by their parents, or their parents are basically exploiting them for gain. And it's really frustrating and troubling, because then they become adults and people are like, look, you've been this rich kid your whole life, and they completely discredit all of the other stuff that they've been through. But pushing forward, Cole Sprouse specifically had said, I'm not a victim. I'm never going to be a victim, because he actually got taken away from his mother from CPS. I don't know why I'm on this long rant, but it just bugs me because, like, you know, we think like Disney and Nickelodeon and all this stuff are just wholesome and fun and friendly, and there's nothing wrong with any of these things. But more and more, the more that I see, and then like, you know, the animations are one thing and injecting the woke ideology, but like kids are like quite literally being exploited and put in dangerous situations, like all the Nickelodeon stuff that has come up. Like I could do a whole video on it. But I don't know. I don't think Hollywood is a good place necessarily for kids. And now it's like coming out a lot more in the content made for kids. And it's just like, I don't know. I just, I have a lot of issues. And so
Well,
I hope the
when I
Daily
was
Web
a
comes
kid,
through and makes some decent kids content.
when I was a kid, I thought Barney was just like incredibly disturbing, and I look at the things for kids now, and I'm just like, oh Jesus. But then
Yeah.
again, there was a lot of things back in the past that, like that Rugrats episode, the grandpa, he was addicted to adult movies, and there were a lot of things that he said in there that I'm just looking back, I'm like, oh my God. Wait, what?
Yeah, well, that's the best surprise. I loved Rugrats. Oh, I remember why I brought up that whole freaking stupid monologue. Is because because the Twitter post that I shared, I had to give like background, but the Twitter post that I shared, Cole Sprouse in that was saying how he's not a victim, he's never going to be a victim of his circumstances, and he doesn't like that this current climate is promoting victimhood mentality. He was like, I'm never going to do that, and I don't think it's healthy, and blah blah blah. And I thought it was actually a really powerful message, because like those are the types of messages that we need being like delivered to people from Hollywood, from these people who have been within the industry for decades at this point, and also kind of transferring into our like you know, content for like an entertainment. Basically, it's just like actual healthy good messages about overcoming bad circumstances and overcoming things, not injecting your gender ideology into stuff for kids. Like that's what's the most frustrating thing.
Yeah. And the fact that Netflix is actually going through and doing this now, it's you keep it up. I will pull back. I will go ahead and get Netflix again, because there are some good things on Netflix that I'm just kind of like, I wish I had, but I don't want to give them the money and things like that. So if they keep this up, yeah, I'm gonna go back to it. The whole Disney thing, everything Disney's done, with the Marvel and Star Wars and everything. I don't believe in any way Disney is going to ever pull me back. I mean, you've destroyed everything. Like the Marvel universe was great all the way up until Endgame, when they started doing the whole subtle woke things in it, and I'm just like, here we go. And then it just started to snowball from that. There are very few things within Marvel now that aren't woke, and I'm done altogether. It's just I don't think there's anything that's going to bring me back. If Disney gets anything, I'm just going to be like, well, that's the end of that. I'm never watching that again. So. But then again, you also got like programming like The Expanse. I don't know if you ever seen that show. But The Expanse, the show is great. Y'all need to watch that. Because it highlights, you got Earth, you got Mars, and you got the OPA, which is Outer Planetary Alliance. There were 3 different factions of humankind that were kind of fighting for control. Earth is a socialist kind of government. Mars is an authoritarian kind of government, and the OPA is more like anarchist. And they find this what they call a protomolecule that pretty much takes over everything, starts eating everything away to create its own situation, and it ends up making a ring that opens up into this void, I guess would be the best way to call it, that opens up into more rings that opens up different universes for humankind. It's a great show, and it just goes through every bit of it so wonderfully to politically wise kind of show everybody their thing. And it's great. Y'all need to watch that. It's got like 5 seasons, but they canceled that before it really even started to pick up into the main point of the story. And I wish that would come back.
Okay, I'm really confused by this, which is why I've left it up for so long. AG, the toy is called Woody and Buzz, because that's the thing, and the taught story layering jokes for adults in kids shows, but designed to mean absolutely nothing to kids. E.g., the toy is called Woody and Buzz. What would the Buzz part mean? I understand Woody, ha ha ha, but what would the Buzz mean? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Weird, but I've never viewed it like that. I just see Toy Story is a big thing right now for us. And that's actually the really frustrating part about all of this for me is there's so many Disney movies that I absolutely love, old school Disney movies that I've bought and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch that my kids love. My kids love Moana. Oh, okay. All right. I'm not gonna put that on the screen. Okay. Gotcha. But no, but my kids love Moana. They love that kind of stuff. And it's a lot easier to have that on streaming. It just frustrates me because it's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I have Disney, I have Netflix, I have all of those things. And again, I don't pay for Netflix, but because we get it with a service that we have. But it's just really frustrating for me because it's there's stuff I like on those streaming sites, and I don't want to have to cut ties with them. And there's stuff that is just easier as a parent. Convenience, I guess. Yeah. But it's something that I'm kind of always torn between of should I just invest into a huge dump of movies and stuff like that and then cut the ties or what have you? Because I don't let my kids watch the actual shows on there, except for a select few that I've watched really thoroughly. But one of those things.
I don't know. If you do that, you're a bigot. But if you don't do that, then your children become these things. So would you rather be a bigot or your kids just hate you for the rest of their life because you let them do something that you should have stopped? I mean, the answer is a no-brainer to me. I'll be a bigot.
I feel like a big problem with parents right now is just the you're confusing young kids before they have a chance for their sense of self to really develop whatsoever. And so they're at such a malleable stage. It's you have to create a solid foundation for them to, navigate the world from. Right. And I think as long as you have that solid foundation, you'll be fine. You might run into some stuff that you're going to question. You're going to go, what is this? And what's this about? But for the most part, something as basic as your biological sex, as long as you got that down, I feel you can probably do pretty well. And it's just one of those things. It's I hear about people transitioning their 2-year-old, and it's just so red flags, bro. My kids have known that, who's a boy and who's a girl for a while now. And they're pretty good about that. And it's just I don't know. It's just such a crazy concept to me. It's they're little kids. They have no idea what you're talking about. They have no ability to conceive these things, and you're trying to sway them in one direction. It's just really, really weird. But anyway,
I do want to highlight something. Emma Peel said that word are out in the open now. They're in all schools, all levels, medical fields, all levels, and of course, governments. Y'all need to start migrating over to Rumble now because we've got something about the medical field we're definitely going to bring up for you guys, and it is scary because we are screwed medical wise.
Yeah, it's something that I ran across the other day, and it's actually really alarming and really concerning. So if you want to check that out, we're gonna kind of hang out for a few, but head over to Rumble. Can we drop the link in the chat so people can grab it really quickly?
Yeah, that's actually the link to the show we're doing now. But yeah, we've got something this is gonna turn a little bit spicy because I'm gonna say some things on this one. Yeah, I can't do it because of YouTube, and of course we are on Ashley's channel. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last time this will be on Ashley's channel. The Off Label podcast for YouTube and Rumble, we will be going there from here on out. That is the YouTube one as well that I am linking to you right there. We're going to start going to these other ones. So anything that I say, she doesn't get dinged for on her own, because I'd hate to say something that she gets a violation for. I'd feel like crap.
I would be upset.
Yeah. So we're going to start going
like we can burn another channel, like that's fine, but this one is near and dear to my heart. So no, but we really do appreciate we really do appreciate, like, if anyone's gonna get a strike, I want it just at least to be me. My own channel.
Look, you got to catch up to me. You got to get that warning and that first strike first over the same issue, which is really weird. But yeah. So
anyway,
yeah, y'all start heading on over to
the
Rumble there.
Yeah, and leave a like on the video on your way out. If you haven't already, we do really appreciate all of you guys here with us and anybody watching after the fact. And yeah, so go subscribe to the Off Label podcast channel. We're gonna get it popping over there, and hopefully at some point start clipping some stuff and putting it out in shorts, and just kind of get some traction going over on that channel. Should be a fun little project, and we're really pumped about it. So thank you guys so much for being over here with us. And with that, I think we're gonna close out for the night and head over to Rumble. So make sure to join us over there.
You know, now that this has come up again, I forgot the closer. I had this in my mind, like I was preparing the whole thing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna forget it. I'm not gonna forget it.
Bro,
now that it's come up, I'm just like,
you gotta get the beginning and the end. Okay, everything else we can wing. Well, we got. This is why also we're kind of working out all the kinks too. So.
Right. We need to put everything in this own little section here so I can go back to it easy, because going through our own little chat here.
That's why I did that. Is because I can't. It's too much. It's too much stuff going on. So like I was we're just gonna make a special little folder and be able to share everything. I appreciate everything you do, Ashley. Have a good night. Thank you, Evan. You have a good night as well.
Just keep going with that. Yeah.
Slight stutter. Har. But yeah, I don't remember what your little closer was going to be.
There we go. Okay, I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream narrative have become a cancer to society. Currently, there is no known cure, but what was it? The doses of other treatments. Hold on. Restart. Ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream narrative has become a cancer to society. Currently, there is no known cure, but doses of other treatments have shown promising results. Off-label use has been authorized. Y'all have a good night. We will see you over on Rumble. As a matter of fact.